sitting by the desk with a vintage sketchbook open wide, holding this black charcoal with a heavy heart inside, trying to trace the curvature of your soft white shoulder line. But the dust is slipping away, losing track of time. I didn't use the fixative, didn't want the chemical spray, afraid it would wash the warmth of your memory away. So I just let it smudge under the tip of my thumb, watching the shape of us slowly become known. We don't need a perfect line to know what was there, a blurry silhouette floating in the midnight air. Every single faded edge is where you still reside, in this low fidelity space where we used to hide. Smudged charcoal, a smoky little grace on the page, a slow dragging groove moving across the stage. We don't need the details to know this love was real. The less I can see, the deeper I can feel, yeah. Just floating on this 90 BPM ride. Yeah, yeah. People walk into the studio and they look at the frame. They ask me why the eyes are empty, why it lacks a name. They tell me to finish the highlight, to fill in the dark, but they don't know the danger of a completed mark. If I draw the final line, you might just walk away, turn into a solid picture in the cold light of day. So I keep the rose piano dripping warm and slow, letting the upright bass guide the places we used to go. Years will pass and this heavy paper will turn to yellow rust, and all our sacred whispers might degrade into the dust. But that's the beauty of a piece that is never quite done, an endless conversation that has only just begun. Smudged charcoal, a smoky little grace on the page, a slow dragging groove moving across the stage. We don't need the details to know this love was real. The less I can see, the deeper I can feel, yeah. Just floating on this 90 BPM ride. I'll leave it raw, even when the lines blur, you're still beautiful. Had the watercolor brush dipped in the deepest blue, ready to paint the landscape that reminded me of you. But a single drop of water fell from the ceramic cup, and the whole design started melting, washing it all up. The sharp lines turned into rivers, the borders into clouds, a silent liquid explosion that wasn't very loud. The pigment is escaping the cage I built on the sheet, creating the beautiful mess where the gradients meet. It ruined the structure, it broke the whole plan, but look at how the colors bleed across the span. Maybe our love was an accident, just like the stain, a fluid little disaster that washed away the pain. Water stain romance bleeding through the season, a melancholic melody that doesn't need a reason. We never finished the picture we wanted to show, but the smudge on the paper has a brilliant glow. Just let the modern jazz chords wash over the tear. Sitting in the corner of a sophisticated cafe room, watching the rain outside, mirroring my own gloom. Every drop on the window is making a blurry streak, just like the ink running down the side of your cheek. The harder I try to wipe the stain, the bigger it grows. That's how the rhythm of your lingering memory goes. When the upright bass strikes heavy against my chest, I realize this unfinished chaos is where I feel the best. A perfectly calculated life is a little too cold. No room for the unexpected stories to unfold. Even if our ending is ruined and soaked in the rain, I'd fall into this watery accident all over again. Water stain romance bleeding through the season, a melancholic melody that doesn't need a reason. We never never finished the picture we wanted to show, but the smudge on the paper has a brilliant glow. Just let the modern jazz chords wash over the tear. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Where the water stopped moving, your shape became permanent.
How many times do I have to rub out your face just to get the right proportion in this lonely space? Pressing the pencil too hard because my feelings rushed in, only to find another error underneath your skin. The heavy paper's getting thin, losing its texture tonight, while a mountain of gray shavings grows under the light. The sheet looks blank and clean, telling a perfect lie. But if you touch the surface, you can feel where I cried. The white page says that nothing ever went wrong, but the deep dents remember the notes of our song. Hidden inside the dust is the word that I lost, a physical pile of what my devotion had cost. Eraser dust, the ruins of you and me, scattered across the smooth, relaxing beat. I won't try to redraw you, I'll just leave it bare, because the empty space is where I see you in the air. The ghost of your line is still dented so deep. The low fidelity texture is wrapping around my ears. The cafe lights are dimming, washing away my fears. Sharpening the graphite, I start to realize something new. Maybe it's better that I never fully finished you. If the drawing was complete, it would just grow old, but in this rubbed out state, you never turn cold. Following this 90 BPM dragging pace, I'm gently sweeping away the last trace of your face. Looking at the empty canvas under the neon bloom, a beautiful vacuum filling up the entire room. All the scrubbing and the tearing, the hours I spent alone, that was the truest version of love I've ever known. Eraser dust, the ruins of you and me, scattered across the smooth, relaxing beat. I won't try to redraw you, I'll just leave it bare, because the empty space is where I see you in the air. The ghost of your line is still dented so deep. Everything is wiped away, so why does your scent stay? Everything is wiped away, so why does your scent stay?
30 short seconds, that's all that my hand needs to catch the raw vibration before the memory bleeds. I captured the sharp jaw, the way your dark hair fell, but I stopped the pencil before it could tell the story of your lips, the highlight in your eyes, leaving the right side of the paper to the open sky. They asked me why I left the canvas half empty and cold, why I didn't finish the portrait to be framed and sold. But a finished drawing is a dead thing on the wall. It traps the living spirit, makes it wither and fall. Because our love broke down before the final view, it stays forever young, forever beautiful and new. Half told tale, an open-ended theme, a mellow boom bap soundtrack for a fractured dream. We don't need to fill the page to know we were grand. I'm leaving this blank space in the palm of my hand, the prettiest chapter in a vintage book, yeah. The sophisticated atmosphere, the jazz hip-hop flow. My voice is sliding lazy through the warm studio glow. With only half your face, I can feel your entire soul. The fragments of your laughter keeping me whole. If we wrote the final chapter, type the last line, we might have grown so tired, you're running out of time. But a croquis never ages, it remains a classic strain, an echo of a romance that bypasses the pain, an unpunctuated sentence that loops inside the brain. A letter left unsealed on a midnight train, free from the cage of a finished design. Your ghost is safely floating in this blank white line. Half-told tale, an open-ended theme, a mellow boom bap soundtrack for a fractured dream. We don't need to fill the page to know we were grand. I'm leaving this blank space in the palm of my hand, the prettiest chapter in a vintage book, yeah.
I'll stop here. You can imagine the rest of my heart.
Yeah. Under the gallery spotlight, they stare at the oil paint, praising the vivid crimson, the brushstrokes so faint. They look at the glossy varnish, the professional sheen, saying it's the finest composition they've ever seen. But they don't see the graphite buried deep below, the nervous pentimenti that will never show, the shaky pencil lines we drew in the dark room long before the colors ever started to bloom. Beneath the heavy layer is a fragile raw sketch, a skeletal architecture that no one else can fetch. The world only judges what is polished and neat, but our true love was born in that smoky rough heat. Under drawer, the bone of the art, the hidden anatomy of a broken heart. Even when the pain is thick, the graphite doesn't die, the foundation of the truth underneath the big lie. The lines beneath the varnish are what keeps me alive. 90 beats per minute, the upright bass knocks slow, digging up the sketches from the place we used to know. I dress up for the public, I put on a bright smile, covering the heavy slate with the modern style. But the gold leaf is cracking, the oil starts to peel, revealing the charcoal lines that were actually real. The hours that we argued, the tears that we shed, they are the skeletal frame of the words that you said. The exhibition is over, the museum goes dark. I look at the canvas and I see a true mark. No matter how much paint they spread on the view, they can never overlay the raw outline of you. Underdrawn, the bone of the art, the hidden anatomy of a broken heart. Even when the pain is thick, the graphite doesn't die, the foundation of the truth underneath the big lie. The lines beneath the varnish are what keeps me alive. They see the color, but I only feel the lines, because that was us.
I took my old fountain pen to write down your name, trying to find a closure for this bittersweet game. But the paper was porous, the ink was too deep, releasing the secrets I was trying to keep. The sharp edges melted, they started to bleed, like a wild spider web growing from a dark seed. The letters are blurring, they're losing the shape of the final goodbye that I wanted to make. I wanted a clean cut, a neat little line, a perfect dot at the end of what was once mine. But the blue ink is traveling, it follows the vein of a wooden page, soaking up all of my pain. Bleeding ink, crawling across the sheet, a loose jazzy rhythm moving with the heartbeat. I can't control where the story wants to go, it's leaking through the margins, heavy and slow, a beautiful disaster that I cannot erase. The sophisticated air of this late night cafe can't wash the blue stains on my fingers away. Every line that I wrote to explain why we broke is dissolving right now like a circle of smoke. A soft melodic rap underneath my breath, singing about a love that is defying its death. The upright bass keeps dragging my mind to the floor, where your shadow is waiting behind the closed door. Maybe some words are too heavy to hold in a frame. They break through the syntax, they refuse to stay tame. The stain on this journal is a truer decree of the beautiful chaos between you and me. Bleeding ink, bleeding, crawling across the sheet, crawling, a loose jazzy rhythm moving with the heartbeat. I can't control where the story wants to go, it's leaking through the margins, heavy and slow, a beautiful disaster that I cannot erase. The letters are gone, but the stain looks just like you.
I had the heavy chisel, I had the steel hammer too, ready to carve a perfect statue out of you. I wanted to smooth out the rough rocky edge, to make you fit into my narrow little ledge. But after one strike, the white stone gave a groan, revealing the fracture deep inside of the bone. So I dropped the cold iron, I stepped far away, leaving you raw in the shadow of gray. If I carved your wings, you could never fly free, you'd just be a frozen monument belonging to me. So I leave the block jagged, untouched by the blade, the most sacred shape that our hands ever made. Uncarved marble, a wild, jagged stone, the prettiest masterpiece left all alone. Before it was polished, before it was neat, it had a rough texture that nothing could beat. Just let the jazzy chords echo in the empty hall. Now I sit in the studio, the dust settling down, listening to the distant muffled noise of the town. My soft melodic rap drifts like smoke in the room, admiring the block in the soft evening gloom. A smooth male vocal on a 90-beat track, singing to a lover who is never coming back. But you're holding that stone, you're safe from my art. I'm broken by the design of a desperate heart. Every finished sculpture is a tune for the light, but this rough mineral reflects the whole night. We didn't define it, we didn't complete, so our love remains untamed and remarkably sweet. Uncarved marble, a wild jagged stone, the prettiest masterpiece left all alone. Before it was polished, before it was neat, it had a rough texture that nothing could beat. Just let the jazzy chords echo in the empty hall. I won't touch it again. You're perfect in the rough. I won't touch it again. We were playing a ballad in a minor key blues, following the notes that we both used to choose. The melody was smooth, the bridge was so tight, moving through the measures in the dim cafe light. But someone ripped the page at the 24th bar, leaving the climax suspended and far. The cadence is missing, the resolution is gone, leaving me hanging in the gray colored dawn. A song with an ending is easily forgot. It dies in the archives, a cold little spot, but an unfinished phrase loops inside of the head, a beautiful phantom of the things left unsaid. Torn sheet music, a song with no end, a broken vibration that I cannot amend, because it was cut before the final chord struck. It rings forever in the cinematic love, floating on a warm nostalgic boom bap beat. Yeah. My soft melodic rap keeps tracing the tear, looking for the harmony that used to be there. The upright bass is walking the path with no sign, a lonely musician on a broken design. I let the smooth vocals carry the ache of a masterpiece that we were forced to break. If we play the last note, the magic would fade, so I live in the echo that our fracture had made. No final applause, no curtains to close, just a permanent question where the melody goes. The most beautiful song is the one that we lost, the infinite loop with a heavyweight cost. Torn sheet music, a song with no end, a broken vibration that I cannot amend, because it was cut before the final chord struck. It rings forever in a cinematic lug, floating on a warm nostalgic boom bap beat. Suddenly, a loud sound of paper being violently ripped. The music and the beat cut instantly, leaving a deep room decay. The melody, it just hangs in the air.
hands were covered in the cold, wet clay, spinning on the wheel through the heat of the day. We were shaping a vase to hold all our size, a fragile ceramic underneath the blue skies. But the wheel slowed down before the rim could be set, leaving the silhouette heavy and wet. It never faced the fire, it never saw the kiln. It's just a soft memory, completely unstill. A hardened clay pot will shatter and break when the ground starts to tremble and the foundation shake. But this wet shape can bend, it can adapt to the touch, remaining so fluid because it didn't promise too much. Wet clay, an unbaked design, a slow motion dream on a borderline. We never turned solid, we never grew cold, a malleable story that can always unfold. Let the sophisticated jazz soothe the rough skin. Sitting in the corner as the rain starts to pour, the low fidelity texture hums behind the door. My sweet airy vocals drift over the bass, tracing the curves of an unfinished vase. They want me to bake it to make it secure, but I like the wet grace, so fragile and pure. If it hardens to stone, it's a permanent past, but in this soft liquid state, the options can last. No cracks in the glaze, no shattering sound, just a quiet surrender on a wheel going round. We left it unfinished to save it from dust, a beautiful failure that we chose to trust. Wet clay, an unbaked design, a slow motion dream on a borderline. We never turned solid, we never grew cold, a malleable story that can always unfold. Let the sophisticated jazz soothe the rough skin. We can be anything tomorrow.
The museum is closing, the tourists are gone, leaving the canvas to wait for the dawn. The curator turned off the bright center light, leaving the hall in the velvet of night. Only half of the frame is catching the glow, the rest is a shadow where the secrets can grow. You can't see the mistakes, you can't see the tear. The darkness is fixing the things that we fear. Under the harsh glare, the flaws are too loud. Every broken perspective is judged by the crowd. But in this deep dimness, the lines look so sweet. A sophisticated haven where the loose ends can meet. Half-lit gallery, a sophisticated shade, where the beautiful errors are allowed to cascade. We don't need the spotlight to show what we lost. The shadow is covering a heavyweight cost. The PBR and B ghost in a modern jazz room. Yeah, 90 beats per minute, my shadow walks slow. My soft melodic rap has a comfortable flow. Looking at the drawings that we couldn't complete, they look so magnificent in this retreat. The upright bass is a comforting friend, saying a fracture doesn't mean it's the end. If they turned on the lights, the illusion would break. So I bless the deep twilight that we chose to make. Let the canvas stay dim, let the curtains remain. There's a vintage protection in the lack of the plane. The pieces we broke are reassembled in dark, a flawless collection with the sacred mark. Half-lit gallery, a sophisticated shade, where the beautiful errors are allowed to cascade. We don't need the spotlight to show what we lost. The shadow is covering the heavyweight cost. The PBR and B ghost in a modern jazz room. Yeah. A modern jazz room. the lights down. It's more beautiful in the dark. Found a brass key in the back of the drawer, the one we were making for the front bedroom door. The grinder was noisy, the sparks were so bright when we sat in the workshop in the middle of the night. But we stopped in the middle, left the ridges uncut before the final alignment could permanently shut. Now this piece of metal is a beautiful fail. It can't turn a cylinder, it can't tell a tale. If it fits in a lock, then the secret is known. The room is invaded, the treasure is blown. But a key that is broken, a key with no groove, is a permanent keeper of a love that won't move. Half-carved key, a beautiful locking of mine, a slow dragging rhythm that we left behind. It opens no doors in this practical town, but it keeps our small world from tumbling down. Just floating away on this warm jazz track. Sitting in the kitchen as the clock strikes 3, drinking cold coffee, staring down at the key. My soft melodic rap keeps tracing the brass, watching the shadows of our memories pass. A smooth male vocal on a 90-beat pace, singing to a lock that I can never replace. If we finish the cutting, we would know what's inside and lose the sweet mystery where we used to hide. Let the ridges stay rough, let the metal remain. There's a vintage protection in the lack of the plane. The door is still closed, but the love is secure, locked in an uncarved shape so fragile and pure. Half-carved key, a beautiful locking of mine, a slow dragging rhythm that we left behind. It opens no doors in this practical town, but it keeps our small world from tumbling down. Just floating away on this warm jazz track. It doesn't open anything, that's why it holds everything.
I wrap the acrylics in a damp paper sheet to keep the thick colors from the afternoon heat. The painting is sitting on the easel untouched, but the canvas doesn't know what my fingers have clutched. The crimson is bleeding, the cobalt is wet, living in a twilight where the sun hasn't set. They think it's all over, they think it's a wrap, but the color is breathing inside of the trap. When the pigment dries up, it becomes a hard crust, a permanent picture that will fade into dust. But as long as it's liquid, as long as it's deep, there's a beautiful promise that the shadows can keep. Wet palette, the colors that refuse to turn cold, a slow motion story that is yet to be told. The brush is away, but the feeling is bright, a sophisticated dream in the middle of the night. The ghost of our palette is still holding the stain. The low fidelity texture is humming so sweet as I watch the rain falling on the neon-lit street. My sweet airy vocals drift over the drum, singing about a love that never succumbs. I like the wet gray, the blend of the tones, the messy gradient that the algorithm owns. If we finished the painting, it would just be a wall, but in this wet fluid state we can still have it all. Look at the canvas, it's half empty in there, but the potential of us is alive in the air. Every unblended stroke is There's a card we didn't play, a beautiful universe that is waiting to stay. Wet palette, the colors that refuse to turn cold, a slow motion story that is yet to be told. The brush is away, but the feeling is bright, a sophisticated dream in the middle of the night. The ghost of our palette is still holding the stain. It hasn't dried yet, the colors are still breathing.
Plastic canister sitting on a dark shelf, holding a universe all to itself. 36 exposures of a summer we spent before the whole structure of our happiness bent. I didn't bring it to the dark room, didn't use the chemical bath, afraid the bright and larger would destroy the path of the soft, blurry silhouettes catching the light, wrapped in the silver of a permanent night. Once it hits the paper, the contrast is fixed, the grain becomes solid, the emotions are mixed. But as long as it's hidden in the spiral of black, there is no distortion on our vintage track. Unprinted negative, a picture in the dark, the most perfect memory that didn't leave a mark, because it was never exposed to the day. It stays forever beautiful, safe from decay. Just let the sophisticated jazz soothe the lens. Sitting in the corner with the modern jazz flow, my soft melodic rap has a comfortable glow. The upright bass is a comforting sound, walking through a gallery that cannot be found. The smooth male vocal on a 90-beat stream, singing to a snapshot of a fractured dream. If we printed the photo we would see every flaw and ruin the perfection of the shadows we saw. No frame for the public, no glossy display, just a roll of raw time that will never betray. The prettiest pictures are the ones we didn't show, locked in the dark where the margins can't grow. Unprinted negative, a picture in the dark, the most perfect memory that didn't leave a mark, because it was never exposed to the day. It stays forever beautiful, safe from decay. Just let the sophisticated jazz soothe the lens.
Safe inside the row. Nobody can change our summer.
We laid the concrete pillars in the deep blue stream, building an architecture for a collective dream. We wanted to span the water to connect the two banks, to walk across the surface without regular thanks. But we ran out of iron at the center of the bay, leaving the suspension cables hanging in the gray. Now the road just stops in the middle of the sky, dramatic question mark for the birds flying by. If the bridge was completed, we would cross every day and turn our sweet longing into a common highway. But this broken structure keeps the distance so grand, a sacred horizon between land and land. Half-built bridge, a beautiful span of the air, a loose jazzy groove for the things we didn't share. We don't need a touch to know the feeling was real. The wider the canyon, the deeper I can feel the prettiest geometry of an unfinished line. Yeah. Sophisticated atmosphere. The cafe is still, my voice is loud and lazy through the cold evening chill. The upright bass is tracking a path with no map, a lonely engineering of an emotional gap. A soft melodic rap on a 90 beat track, singing to a shore that isn't calling me back. If we met in the middle, the mystery would fade. So I blessed the open water that our fracture had made. No traffic, no noise, no routine display, just a monument of longing that will never decay. The space that we left is where the heavy winds blow, keeping our spirits where the rivers can't go. Half-built bridge, a beautiful span of the air, a loose jazzy groove for the things we didn't share. We don't need a touch to know the feeling was real. The wider the canyon, the deeper I can feel the prettiest geometry of an unfinished line. We never crossed it, so we can never leave each other.
They wanted the manuscript to be polished and neat, to put a standard cover on our midnight heat. They told me to fix the grammar, to erase the raw ink, to make it comfortable for the public to think. But I kept the notebook hidden under the floor, safe from the editors behind the locked door, with all the scratch outs and the tear-stained sheets, where the pulse of our true confession still beats. Once a book is printed, it belongs to the crowd. The heavy quiet whispers become way too loud, but an unpolished draft is a private decree, a raw holy text between you and me. Unfaded draft, the bones of the verse, a warm nostalgic rhythm that can never reverse. It's not in the library, it's not on the shelf, it's a secret translation belonging to itself. The lines on this paper are what keeps me alive. 90 beats per minute, the rim shot is clean as I sit in the corner of this vintage scene. My sweet, airy vocals are tracing the lead of a beautiful letter that nobody will read. The upright bass is moving like a shadow on walls, saying a quiet fragment is the finest of all. If we finish the syntax, the magic will die, so I bless the broken sentences we used to try. No final page, no index to find, just a chaotic map of a beautiful mind. The poetry we left with the edges untied is the only safe place where the spirit can hide. Unfaded draft, the bones of the verse, a warm nostalgic rhythm that can never reverse. It's not in the library, it's not on the shelf, it's a secret translation belonging to itself. The lines on this paper are what keeps me alive. It was never published, so it can never be forgotten.
They stop the cranes and left the iron bars bare, just a grid of rusty red climbing through the air. No concrete walls to block the heavy twilight view, no windows trapping the cold wind blowing through. A finished building is just a box of routine gray, where people lock their dreams at the end of the day. But this open skeleton catches the orange sunset hole, letting the dying light pierce straight into my soul. We never built the roof, never laid the floor, left the structure standing with no lock upon the door. But in this hollow frame, the sky can freely breathe, the permanent transition that will never deceive. Scaffolding, a red grid against the fading night, a 90 BPM lounge floating in the amber light. We don't need a ceiling to know what we felt. The emptier the space, the more the shadows melt. Just let the jazzy chords drift through the steel. Sophisticated atmosphere, the studio is quiet. My soft melodic rap tames the emotional riot. The upright bass is taking a slow and heavy stride, walking through a hallway that has no walls inside. A smooth male vocal on a warm nostalgic track, singing to a structure that is never going back. If we poured the cement, we would have built a cage and ended the beautiful view on this unfinished stage. No keys to turn, no borders to define this space, just a monument of orange light in an empty place. The prettiest architecture is the one left undone, a lace of iron catching the final rays of the sun. Scaffolding, a red grid against the fading night, a 90 BPM lounge floating in the amber light. We don't need a ceiling to know what we felt. The emptier the space, the more the shadows melt. Just let the jazzy chords drift through the steel. Finish the house, so the sky belongs to us. I melted the red wax and let it drip slow on the heavy paper envelope in the fireplace glow. It formed a warm pool, round and completely bright, waiting for the heavy metal stamp to seal the night. But I held my hand back, let the brass crest stay, watching the liquid slowly turn into a solid gray. No family shield, no initial was pressed into the heat, leaving the surface perfectly anonymous and sweet. Once the metal hits, the promise becomes a law. The word is delivered with every single flaw, but an unstamped seal keeps the future completely wide, holding all the secrets that we chose to hide. Unstamped wax, a smooth and faceless seal, a loose boom bap rhythm for the things we couldn't steal. No signs, no names, no permanent decree, just the shape of a warmth between you and me, floating away on a sophisticated cafe stream. The upright bass is walking like a shadow on the floor. My soft melodic rap drifts toward the kitchen door. I touch the cold wax under the dim yellow light. It's a smooth red button that closed our final night. If we press the stamp, we'd have a contract to break, a formal definition of a heavy-hearted mistake. So I leave it blank, a quiet pool of red, a beautiful silence for the words we never said. No signature to fade, no crest to fracture down, just a smooth little island in this noisy town. We left the seal unguided to keep it so pure, a malleable memory that will permanently endure. Unstamped wax, a smooth and faceless seal, a loose boom bap rhythm for the things shape of a warmth between you and me, floating away on a sophisticated cafe stream. No name was engraved, so it can never be broken.
My left hand is holding the chord on the wooden neck, guiding the harmony to keep our love from wreck. The drum is stepping steady at a 90-beat pace, but my right thumb is waiting in this quiet space. I laid my palm flat across the thick fifth string, stopping the vibration before the metal could sing. It's a ghost note hidden in the center of the bar, a silent frequency that travels very far. The notes they can hear are easily forgot. They fade in the speaker, a common little spot. But the note I didn't play holds the entire groove, the heavy weight of a silence that refuses to move. Unplugged fifth, the chord we didn't sound, a sophisticated sanctuary where the ghosts are found. No voice in the speaker, no wave on the screen, the most powerful melody that remains unseen. The ghost of our silence is deep inside the track. The low fidelity texture is wrapping me tight as I look at the coffee cups under the light. My sweet airy vocals are floating like a bird, singing about a confession that nobody ever heard. If I plucked the string, the mystery would collapse, turn into a common blues ballad perhaps. But this muted tension keeps the story so grand, an invisible bridge between hand and hand. No sharp resolution, no final applause, just a beautiful static in our musical laws. The truest devotion is the note left unplayed, the quiet protection of the shadow we made. Unplug fifth, the chord we didn't sound, a sophisticated sanctuary where the ghosts are found. No voice in the speaker, no wave on the screen, the most powerful melody that remains unseen. The ghost of our silence is deep inside the track. You can't hear it, but it's the loudest note in the room.
I dropped a dry rosebud into the porcelain cup, watching the boiling water slowly fill it up. The wrinkled red petals start to uncurl and expand, stretching out their limbs in a liquid land. But they can't remember the perfect shape of the spring. They just hover in the center, a distorted little thing. They never fully bloom, they never fully die, just floating in the middle of a ceramic sky. If it went back to a fresh flower, the story would end. It will wither in an hour, a common little trend. But this 어정쩡한 머무름, this half-open state, is how we extract the sweetness from a heavy fate. Dusty petals bleeding in the warm glass, a slow dragging groove as the late hours pass. We can't go back to the bloom of our youth, but this uncurling sorrow is our finest truth. Just let the sophisticated lounge catch the crimson dye. 90 beats per minute, the rim shot is dry. My soft melodic rap looks for a reason why. The upright bass is a comforting dark friend, saying the change in form doesn't mean it's the end. A smooth male vocal on a low fidelity stream, singing to the tea that looks exactly like a dream. We are like those leaves, fragile and loose, unyielding to the winter, yielding to the juice. No garden to growing, no roots in the soil, just a beautiful surrender in the midnight boil. The water turns red as the structure falls apart, releasing the fragrance of an unfinished heart. Steep petals bleeding in the warm glass, a slow dragging groove as the late hours pass. We can't go back to the bloom of our youth, but this uncurling sorrow is our finest truth. Just let the sophisticated lounge catch the crimson dye. Look at the color we made. Yeah. It's been coming down since the afternoon started, washing the streets where the crowd has departed. It's no longer dramatic, no thunder, no flash, just a heavy wet blanket of a physical ash. The concrete is soaked, the bricks are all dark, the water has swallowed every sharp neon mark. The city lost its bounce, it's heavy and slow, trapped in the dampness that the algorithms know. The first hour of rain is an emotional scream, a sudden disaster that breaks up the dream. But the third hour of rain is a permanent state, a sophisticated calmness where the feelings obey. The third hour rain soaking through the frame, a 90 BPM closure that doesn't need a name. We didn't find an answer, we didn't dry the sheet, we just let the moisture take over the beat. A modern jazz phantom fading in the lounge room. The upright bass is tracking the slow, muddy pace. My soft melodic rap has a comfortable space, looking through the window at the blurred studio glow, watching the album turn into a slow motion show. A smooth male vocal on a low fidelity track, accepting the weather that is never coming back. We didn't say goodbye, we didn't close the book, we just let the rain change the way the lines look. Let the rhythm stay damp, let the margins remain. There's a vintage protection in this long-lasting rain. The pieces we left are dissolving in the gray, a flawless collection safe from the data. The third hour rain soaking through the frame, a 90 BPM closure that doesn't need a name. We didn't find an answer, we didn't dry the sheet, we just let the moisture take over the beat. A modern jazz phantom fading in the lounge room. Soaked now, nothing left to blur.